Welcome to GHOSTWATCH2016, the show where we watch Kamen Rider Ghost. I'm Coriander Dickinson. I've seen a bunch of Kamen Rider.
I'm Heather Deary. I've seen some Sentai.
I'm Kate Stark, and I still don't know what Sentai means.
This time is episode 8, Activating the Other Monolith.
I like how it's the other monolith.
I guess there's another monolith, guys.
I mean, apart from the monolith that's in our home,
Maybe
in the
we have a
show.
secret monolith in our house.
Just like one we didn't realize we had.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Gramps is clearly not telling us everything, so
I figured they're like shoes. They come in pairs.
maybe he has another home with another monolith.
Maybe it was like a QVC deal. It's like if you buy one, you get one for free. You just have to pay the shipping and handling.
Yeah.
How much shipping would there be on a giant stone slab?
Well, I figured with 5 easy payments of $49.99, it might be included in there.
Maybe. I think it depends. Like, we're in Canada, so if we're shipping this from the States, that shipping is definitely not included for us.
And then
It's going to
there's
be double or
customs.
triple.
Yeah, and then customs and duty at like the border.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just not worth it anymore.
No.
Maybe I can get it off Amazon.ca.
Kijiji.
Oh yeah, I could get it used.
Yeah, we should definitely look for a used monolith.
If anyone out there has a used monolith, just hit us up on Twitter at GHOSTWATCH2016.
We appreciate it. Last episode ended during a fight with a snowplow.
Yep.
Billy the Kid.
In the Ganma world. I mean, Ganma world wasn't fighting, but it was a really bad theme park.
The worst theme park ever.
I do not suggest taking your children to Ganma World.
Or abandoning them for 10 years in the floating eye place.
Yeah, the only consolation prize you get after that is an icon with your sister in it, and it's bad.
Or you get to be a Kamen Rider.
Yeah, but I think you have to hit so many darts on the balloons, and I don't think she got enough. And I don't think her brother was able to up her points.
So they were in a competition and she lost, so she had to be an icon and he got to be a Kamen Rider?
Yes.
Of course.
I mean, being an icon wouldn't be so bad. You wouldn't have to worry about like calories or
Eating.
Oh, I do like eating though.
Like mostly you just sit there and give out your opinions.
I'm really good at that.
And he's really good at talking to her and listening, it seems. He talks to her a lot.
And it seems like she can see stuff, maybe?
I mean, there's an eye in that icon, right?
Right, she has an eye, a giant eye.
I'm literally sitting and giving out my opinions right now.
This podcast is coming from 3 icons that are just sitting on a couch near some microphones.
The microphones have been lovingly propped up by our friends and family.
Yeah, Kate's clearly the purple one.
Yes, I am Nobunaga icon.
I want to be the blue one.
You're a
Newton?
mixture.
Yeah, I'm going to be Newton. I'm going to force all kinds of fan fiction. That's attraction, right?
Sure.
There might be some misconceptions going on between you and the internet.
Whoops.
So we have 10 more days. No, we have 10 more icons and 27 days left.
Which is very few.
I don't feel so good about this anymore.
If he can get one every, 2.5 days at least?
I would just go for one every day just to feel better about myself.
Yeah, you wanna get ahead of those.
Like he's got 5, he needs 10, he's got 27 days. So yeah, he could have some weekends.
He just has to crunch. Some of those
Grump.
words. Crunk. Frunk? Grump?
Stop.
Cramp?
No.
Crampon.
No.
If he could just cramp on his schedule, he could
He
get
needs
this
more to-do lists. He has got to get his life organized.
He tried and then it got thrown away.
Well, he clearly needs to keep his lists away from Gramps.
We've been recording for so long. We haven't even started talking about the episode.
So fight's on.
Continuing from the end of last episode.
That snowplow reveal still scary.
Yeah, so Snowplow grabs Iguana Ghost Striker, spins it around, tosses it on dry land, pursues into castle, I'm going to say.
It's a modern building that looks like a castle.
By lots of water. It could be a bridge boat, castle, yeah.
Taco has mounted Iguana Ghost Striker,
Mm-hmm.
as he does.
Which leaves his hands free to shoot his gun at the snow plow.
Which starts flying, and it has a ghost, like, bee butt, and also ghost wings.
To be clear, it detaches from the snowplow part. It understands how dumb that is.
Yes, it ditches the treads, and it ditches the snowplow, and it's flying through the air with ghost butt.
Like its inverted honeycomb butt lights up and like projects.
Like rockets, almost.
Yeah, it's like a
Thrusters.
like a 3D light projection propels it through the air, and the two of the things on its shoulders also light up and make wings. Doesn't last long because Iguana Ghost Striker
You can't even say it.
grabs it with his tongue. I did not know iguanas had extendy tongues that would wrap around objects.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect it from Iguana Ghost Striker.
The part that I like the best is so the tongue goes out, wraps around this giant robot snowplow bee, and then spins it around in like a helicopter sort of motion.
I don't think iguanas' heads can turn like that.
This is not your average iguana.
Because only its torso can move.
Yeah,
It's
which
like-
is also
it's just
weird.
sitting there spinning, and then we get a shot of Taco Time from below making the seal symbol. And he was on Iguana Ghost Striker, but then he is very high up in the air.
Yeah,
Like,
very much
We-
flying,
We
basically.
kept track of his movements. He was not up in the air, and then he was just up in the air.
But they gave him a lot of space to Omega Drive kick into the bee.
And then Taco is just on the ground,
It's just like fire.
Yeah.
And he's on the ground and he walks away.
but he's untransformed. He's wearing his normal clothes, and he just walks away.
And he hustles into the park where the zombie people were.
Make
They're
sure they're okay.
they're all there still.
Yep, everything's great. And then the back clock is ringing on the ground.
Well, because he can't find Onari and Akari.
That's
And
right.
Your
They're-
son's there and was like, "Oh, why don't you turn back the bat clock?"
And then I was like, no. Because
Yeah.
I was really worried that it had time control powers.
Yeah,
I
I was
thought
with you
so
on
too.
that.
But no, it just shows a remote projection. Was it of where they had been or of where they are at this time?
think
Where
where
they
they were.
are. Oh,
It's a little weird.
Are at the time.
I thought it was where they were at the time, because then Taco's like, "Oh, take me there."
Yeah, he talks to Bat Clock. I mean, so far, whenever anyone has asked Bat Clock or the Lantern or whatever to do a thing or where people are or where they should go, Condor Phone, they all take them there. So this seems like a legit strategy.
Yeah, it's them leaving the building earlier when the Gunma generics are chasing them.
Yeah, so then Taco transforms again, gets on his sweet motorcycle,
And attaches Bat Clock to the handlebars.
like a GPS unit.
Yep.
Seems like a good thing to have. We all
it's a
have
thing.
clock radios on our motorcycles, right?
Of course.
We all have motorcycles.
We all have clocks.
Hey, icons have to
we're-
get around somehow.
We're three cool icon ladies with motorcycles.
I like the hand gesture you just
Microphone.
made.
The fist?
Yep.
Yeah.
As he's taken off on his motorcycle, it keeps cutting back and forth between him and a tied up Okari and Onari, who are captured by Scary Mouth, who wants to possess them with floaty icons.
So these floaty icons are like slowly, very slowly moving the 5 feet to Onari and Akari to possess them.
And they're like properly tied up around the waist. They've got gags in their mouth so they can't talk. They're freaking out. And it took me a while to realize that these icons were trying to possess them. I thought they were just like the basic Gunmas that were just like, we're getting close to you and we're going to become people in a second. And then it all clicked.
We get the icons like a foot away from their heads, hovering, slowly zooming in, and Taco Time parks at the base of the stairs, hits some gamma, climbs a fire escape like 4 floors, and bursts in, and then slashes the 2 floaty icons out of the air.
Just like it was no big deal.
And then he just cuts their ropes right in half, right in between them.
But with no care in the world given, he literally just takes his sword and slashes essentially through their bodies, but does not hurt them, but only the ropes get cut. So good job, Taco.
That practice is paying off.
What's better? They can't see him, so they've seen icons blow up in front of their faces, and now the ropes have just, like, fallen. And I think Akari's the one who's like, wait, it's Taco time. Maybe? Is that you?
That's Inari.
One of them is like, whoa, Taco, is that you?
And he's talking to them, and I don't know if he can tell that he's invisible at the time.
He's very emotional, so he might not realize that he's invisible.
And Inari's like, let's go back home. And Akari's like, I don't believe you're not possessed.
They get into a weird argument for... I can't actually see why.
Well, she thinks that one of the Ganma possessed Inari, and he's trying to be like, no, I'm not possessed, everything's fine, just because she's not possessed. And it's like, oh, but maybe it's to get me to lower my guard.
And he's like, you know it in your heart. Like he always does.
And she's like, okay, well, what's this one question that obviously only you know the answer to? And it was, oh, what do you call yourself?
The answer's a humble servant, which Taco also mimes in the background.
Yeah, so clearly other people know this answer too. This is not a good security question.
Maybe it's just the three of them, though, because they're like best buddies.
Maybe, but I think Akari needs to pick a different password-protected question.
The name of your first pet.
Bo.
Your mother's maiden name.
No.
The name of the first street you lived on.
I can never use Bo as an answer because it's 2 letters. And there's always like a 4-letter character limit.
What? That's dumb. What if your pet's name is like Tim?
Exactly.
PSA, don't name your pet Tim. Or Bo, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Or just don't use that as a security question.
I mean, I don't, which is why I was willing to tell you.
I don't, because that's just something someone could look up.
That's very public information.
I mean, lots of people, it's really easy to be like, hey, tell me about pets you've had, Kate. I bet you had a cat growing up. What was his name?
Lol, I didn't.
Tell me all the numbers you have memorized.
I've
What's all your
memorized
family's
numbers
birthday?
1 through 0.
The best is because a lot of my life is pretty public, I use a security question, like what was the name of your best friend and your first best friend or whatever, and then I use a completely unrelated answer and I just remember it. So if anybody tried to dive into my life and be like, oh, what was the name of the street she first lived on, or what was the name of her first pet, it's not that answer. It's something totally different that has no relevance to the question at all.
I like to use the questions that ask you for specific dates, because there are so many ways to write down dates.
That's smart.
I always forget what my answers were. When they're like, what's your favorite thing? And I'm like, I don't love things, turns out.
I am made of stone and I hate things.
I mean, she is an icon. Give her some slack.
What's your favorite author? Do I even read books?
What's a book? Is it like YouTube?
I think I've seen people read books on YouTube, so yes.
Okay.
Anyway, we cut back to the shrine and then right to Dad's grave, where Scary Mouth is watching Blue
Spectre.
Talk to... And Spectre has like 4 icons in one hand and his sister icon.
He's just like, oh, I can't even hold all of these icons. Look at all of them.
I don't think he wants his sister to touch the other icons.
Like, if you were collecting icons, would you just stand around in a random graveyard with all of them in your hands at the same time?
Not when I knew people around me also were collecting icons.
I mean, I assume that they've been hiding them in like some sort of hammer space, but I would at least make a pouch to carry them in.
But are you worried that he might mix up Sister Icon with the other 4 that don't talk?
I'm afraid he might transform with Sister Icon.
I'm
afraid of what could happen
now.
I mean, I think it'd be okay, but I don't know what would happen. I would like to see what her jacket would look like.
I really don't want it to be living flesh.
Ew.
Why did you say those words?
Because that's the first thing I thought of when Heather was like,
no.
I hope he doesn't transform with Sister Icon. I'm like, I hope he doesn't wear a person.
No, stop it. You're cut.
No.
Get out.
No.
Get out. No.
Would it be like...
No, stop. No, absolutely not.
Silence of the Lambs?
Corey?
Or would it be
Corey?
like Men in Black?
Corey?
Oh, no.
Corey. Why do you have to ruin my beautiful fantasies? Now they all involve skin. And I don't want them to.
Can we stop saying that word?
Fantasy?
No, the other one. The one that starts with S.
Scrub.
No.
Okay, let's pull up the
Student loans.
dictionary.
The thing that's around all of our skeletons. The outside part.
Oh, okay.
Hair.
Socks.
Good.
It took me a lot longer to figure out an S word that would fit your descriptions, Kate,
I
than
didn't
it
even
should have.
try.
Hair.
Now imagine your skeleton just wrapped in hair.
Like Bayonetta?
Vomit, 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 vomit.
I mean, I think she's got skin in between that.
No, stop it. Don't say that word. I really don't like that word.
Okay.
I don't know why. And it's fine when I'm talking about it, but as soon as somebody else says it, it's just like, no, that's my word.
Where were we?
Scary Mouth sees Spectre at Dad's grave, talking to Sister, and then stops him to talk. And then Sister's like, no, don't trust Scary Mouth. That's bad. He's bad man's.
And Scary's Mouth's like, hey, whatever happened 10 years ago, we were working on an experiment. Why do you trust Dead Dad? Do you look up to him? Are you going easy on Taco Time because you look up to Dead Dad?
He really just sounded like a forum post, didn't he? He's like, Dead Dad? You shouldn't respect Dead Dad. He's awful, and things happened, and it's your poor sister.
Couldn't have been an accident. Someone had to turn on the switch that opened the portal to Gamma World.
Oh, right, the Monolith shouldn't have been active. I don't know, that felt like lies. It felt like weird villain lies.
How is your sister doing?
My sister! Don't talk about my sister. I'm angry now.
Well, you know, Taco's gonna get all the icons.
And then I think he just left.
Yeah, pretty
he
much.
just rage quit there.
I'm angry. And Scary Mouth Man's like, you know what you have to do. And he's like, I know what I have to do.
So Spectre just nopes out, and Scary Mouth is like, yes. Spectre has 4, and Taco Time, he has 5. And me, look at my fancy briefcase I also have 5.
There's foam inside of this briefcase, which has been like specifically cut out to fit icons. It's incredible.
And this is a different bag from the one that holds his ghost summoning gear, and the other bag that has the belt in the bottom with all of the computer bits.
This guy does not know how to travel light.
Have you ever found the perfect bag, Kate? I've never found the perfect bag.
I own the perfect bag.
How does he decide which bag to take with him on any given trip?
Oh, I mean, when he's meeting up with people, that's when he's got the one bag with all the stuff for them. And then when he knows for sure he can get an icon, he brings icon bag. And this one I think is just his everyday icon bag.
Like it's got a change of clothes in it too?
Yeah, probably. I mean, you wear that much black out in the sun, you're probably going to have to change your shirt once in a while.
That's smart.
Yeah. The more important information is that he points out there's 1 icon left. The beginning of the episode said that Taco Time needed 10, which is still true. He needs 10.
Yeah.
But there's 1 left.
One needs to be accounted for.
And then they can all fight for all the icon marbles.
Right, because Scary Mouth knows where 9 additional ones are, and he also needs 15. So he's like, there's 1 more out there. I gotta find out where it is.
So then we cut back to Snapple HQ in the meeting room, and everyone is celebrating because, yeah, we beat all the Gunmon. Everyone was fine. Hey, what about Friend? No, it's okay. Client's probably okay. Friend is
Everything's probably
okay.
fine. I mean, we didn't get a postcard this time or a letter or anything, but for sure he's fine. Until he's not.
Yeah, the 2 students, they bring in the old client.
The client who is not fine.
The client who is definitely not okay. His friend is still possessed.
Still missing.
And Taco's like, oh my god, I kind of forgot about you a little bit. We forgot to save your friend. Oh gosh.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
I didn't really take account of all the people. I was just like, yeah, there are a lot of people here. Probably fine.
Forgot about the one he was actually hired to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he's like, do you got a photograph? And client gives them a photograph of him and his buddy.
He's going to get a bad Yelp review.
So Taco and Akari and Inari, they all go running around being like, hey, have you seen this person in this photo? We're looking for them. And a couple people are like, no. Another person's like, oh yeah, I kind of saw them that way. Running around the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, and Taco is teamed up with the client, and they are heading down to where Taco saw the crowd of zombie horde going. And client is like, oh man, there's an old factory here that is abandoned that I used to hang out in while I was a child.
Convenient. Especially since they fight in a lot of old abandoned factories, it seems.
I was really hoping that it would be that convenient, that it would be like, oh, now we're just in an abandoned warehouse. We don't have to relocate to do a fight. But I was like immediately dismayed because Spectre rolls up.
While Taco Time is talking on Condor phone, like a cell.
Yeah, Taco Time uses Condor phone to phone Akari and Inari to tell them about the old abandoned factory.
And they're like, no, we're on our way. It's cool.
And then he just hangs up his tiny little receiver.
And then it disappears. It doesn't show that he puts it away. It's just gone. It was perfect. But then, like you said, Spectre shows up talking about, like, his dad. It's like, wait. Taco's like, how do you know my dad? Wait a minute.
Are you Makoto?
Yeah.
Is that you? And then basically just straight away Makoto transforms.
Using the Nobunaga.
Get that purple jacket on.
Taco Time transforms.
Suddenly, they're in a scrapyard.
Car graveyard.
Crappy cars everywhere.
Taco. And in my mind, I was like, there's a perfectly good abandoned factory like 1 block away. People.
Car graveyard. Come on.
We need some variety. Cars.
So then it's Nobunaga versus normal Taco. And then Taco is like, oh, snap. I gotta transform. So he transforms into Musashi. And Musashi fights Nobunaga for a little bit. Like, just the jacket floats around and does his thing. And then goes on to Taco. Yeah, that was beautiful.
I do like the Ghost Parkas fighting. Whether they fight each other or other people, it's really cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so Spectre's like, what do you think your dad was doing in that basement? And Taco's like, what are you doing, Makoto? How are you? How's your sister?
And Spectre's like, don't you talk about my sister like that.
So, keyword to not talk to Spectre about his sister. Don't even ask, hey, is she having a good day? No.
He hulks out just a little bit.
He transforms into Tutankhamun.
But Taco Time doesn't want to fight a friend, not unless he knows why.
And he's like, but remember, it's me. It's Taco. We're friends.
Remember, Taco Time? Taco Time has always loved you. You've always loved Taco Time.
Spectre's basically like, well, I'm going to kill you anyways.
Beats him up a lot. And then goes to do the big King Tut pyramid sucking void of disintegration that worked on that mobster Gamma.
Taco Time transforms into Newton and uses his attraction hand to bring cars right in front of the pyramid attack. Giant explosion.
Yeah, Michael Bay happens. Big fire, big explosion.
And Taco Time is gone.
And Spectre's all like, what? Where did he go?
And then, of course, friggin' Pretty Boy is just like there watching and talking about... I think
he's like on a pile of SUVs.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he likes high places.
He's talking about how Spectre is getting all emotional.
I think he just wants to watch some dramas. I think he just doesn't have TV.
That would explain why he's outdoors so much.
We should get him a Netflix subscription. I mean, I don't think they have that in Japan yet, but when they do, we should get him one.
I don't think he's a real person.
Shh, don't tell Heather.
Corey always likes to break my fantasies. That's why I can't have nice ones.
Don't say that other word.
Spectre.
That's fine. I'm good with that one.
Okay.
Sayonji?
Stop it.
So we cut to what is probably the abandoned factory.
Yeah.
Except it ain't abandoned.
No. So the students are looking over, down from up above, and call Akari and Inari over, and they're like, look, there's the others, the zombies, they're building something.
Yeah, and Akari's like, duh, it's a monolith. Hello, it looks like the one we have at home, sorta.
Wait, I bet you anything, this is the other monolith.
What?
Oh, that's not good. You really shouldn't separate monolith pairs. They've been bonded. and it's not a good idea to have them split up like this.
You have no idea how much emotional stress it causes them.
I saw a David Attenborough documentary once on splitting bonded monoliths. You know you can adopt one for $9 a month, and they write you letters and send you pictures?
Aw.
I'll send you the link later.
Adopt a Monolith?
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah. It's really sweet.
But getting like the adoption paperwork all filled out and going through the screening is a bit of a pain.
But I got a Christmas card from my Monolith.
What did it say, Kate?
It said, "Happy Christmas, love, Monolith."
Aw.
I cried. It's hanging on my fridge still. It's June and I haven't taken it down.
I can just picture it writing out that Christmas card, and it's so cute.
Just at a little desk.
A tiny desk because everything in this show is tiny.
Its little eye moving around going, yes, this is how I write Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, love, your Monolith.
I want to adopt a Monolith now.
If you have a Monolith that Heather can adopt, please contact us on Twitter at GHOSTWATCH2016.
So there's a crowd of like 10 people working at computer desks and stuff that are all hooked up to this glowy blue monolith thing that's not quite like the one that's in the basement. This one's like cobbled together a little bit more.
It looks scary though.
It looks like it broke at one point.
It also looks digital.
Yeah.
Like where the monolith in the basement has an eye engraved on it, this one has like an eye projected on it.
So maybe this is a bootleg Monolith.
Or a futuristic Monolith.
I like future Monolith more than bootleg Monolith. Like, I'd expect a bootleg Monolith to have, like, English sayings on it that don't make any sense.
I'm just saying if it shows another series on the Monolith, don't be surprised.
It would have, like, the word monolith, but instead of an L, it's a capital I.
Yeah.
So Snapple's creeping in some pallets, and they notice Client sneaking up because his buddy friend is the one leading the research group.
The possessed guy. And as a reminder from last episode, Client's friend, they've been friends forever. And they have like secret handshake and like secret greeting for each other. And he keeps trying this, and his friend, because he's possessed, he has no idea who he is.
His possessed friend like grabs him and throws him on the ground and then is like, deal with this loser.
Yeah, and then B-Lady shows back up, who I kind of just thought was gone.
I thought
This
she
is like
died.
the third time she's died.
Since Snowplow B went away, I assumed that was her, but I guess not, because she's invisible and just starts choking the Client.
And then out of nowhere
Oh my god, this was my favorite.
comes an invisible Taco Time riding a Ghost Striker, jumping over all of the storage stuff.
Like a mother effing badass.
And from the air, he shoots the bee gamma that is currently choking the Client with his gun.
then draws the eye, unpossesses his friend.
Yep.
And then slashes the icon that pops out.
Like all in one quick motion.
And then we have the Client and the friend are clearly the possessed friend who no longer is possessed recognizes his Client, and they have reunion happy hugs. I wrote reunion happy hugs down, so
But there were no crystal tears.
no, crystal tears are saved for people who will help make Ghost Parkas show up.
But then realize you can't see Taco and you can't see B Gunma. And Akari takes Spider Lantern, which Taco then lovingly refers to as Spidey Lantern. Takes Spider Lantern, and it shows Taco and B Lady fighting in amongst the crap at the warehouse.
And the two students freak out.
Yeah, this is the first time they've seen this happen.
And Onari's like, ho ho, this is totally normal. You have much to learn.
Yeah, I guess she got over that.
I will say this is much less cleanup than the glitter gun.
I mean, shining a light doesn't really need to be cleaned up the way a mess of glitter does.
Precisely.
But what if they're in like a museum and they don't allow flash?
I think the glitter might be more of a problem than the flash. Just glitter in all your paint.
No, it can
It's
irreparably damage
New
paintings.
artwork at that point. The Mona Lisa does not
Make
need
a
glitter.
new Mona Lisa.
Hey, you know what? She's not that impressive
She's very small.
She's a tiny little painting. I thought she was like 2 feet tall by like 1.5 feet wide. No, she's like a foot by like. Yeah, she's
It's like a normal sheet of paper.
she's like an A4 sheet of paper. She's like an 8.5 by
Whoa,
11.
whoa. Don't paint size shame.
I will because she's so small.
Yeah, we can make a new one easy.
But like disco Lisa with all the glitter.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
See?
Now we know why she's smiling.
Because she secretly wears makeup?
No, she were at the party at.
Ah.
She is the party. The disco party.
So Taco transforms into Billy the Kid again because
Worst.
that worked so well.
No.
Worst coat ever.
Different coat. Taco time. Get a different coat.
Fires 1,000,000 bullets with his gun that comes with the costume, and then also bat clock.
He does the transform into a rifle gun thing again.
And bee lady's all like, haha, you can't catch me. I'm 1,000,000 bees.
So then she starts flying around as 1,000,000 bees, and Taco's trying to shoot her, but she's so small because she's all these bees.
But it turns out she's actually just very small.
But there's
in
extra
amongst the
bees.
bees.
Yeah, and he notices this time. And he's like, oh, and it's very clear what should happen, right? Like, he should just shoot that one.
Because he's got guns and the sharpshooter skill and everything.
And he calls for Spider Lantern.
Spidey.
Spidey Lantern.
Sorry, what was that?
Lantern. Spidey Lantern.
Sorry, what was the thing from last episode?
Snoop Blue.
Spidey Lantern.
Snooplu and his sidekick Spidey Lantern?
Yes. I take none of this back. The Spider Lantern transforms into a spider and shoots some webs at the bee swarm. And I'm like, oh, this makes sense.
A giant web.
This makes sense, though. It's going to catch the bee swarm. It's going to keep tiny lady bee still, and he'll shoot it, right?
No, she gets big.
It doesn't make sense, Corey.
No,
she
she's
gets
like,
big.
She's like, oh, I'm trapped. I might as well get bigger.
This is the same logic as when we had the Mad Hatter with the bird on the head, and he was all like, oh, I know which one's the real one, and then he just makes everything explode. This time he's like, oh, it's the tiny one. No, I make it big.
Make it explode.
I'm fine with all of this.
Why does the show us any of the logic when it clearly is just going to ignore it anyway?
So he explodes her, and on the ground lands a magnifying glass, which also doesn't make sense, because clearly she was a monocle.
At least like a cowboy hat or a monocle or a honeycomb, something that actually would
Maybe
relate.
a bee carcass.
A jar of honey.
Someone's treasured dead bee.
I'm very confused, though. Like, I have
Yellow
no
jacket.
idea what the magnifying glass is representing.
Nope.
Good.
In what way are magnifying glasses connected with westerns?
I can't even... No, I had to watch a lot of westerns as a kid. Nothing. I can't think of a thing.
Is there like a famous Japanese detective western that I have not seen?
I would watch
Sounds
that.
really awesome.
I'd watch it. But I can't say I've ever heard of one.
The explosion has gone a little too far and exploded the other monolith.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it got broke.
That's probably for the best.
So no refund.
TBH. And then client.
It will not be sending any Christmas letters this year.
Oh.
Ouch! Corey!
It's okay. That's not my monolith, so it's fine.
Corey is like a real downer this episode.
You haven't heard from your monolith in 6 months.
I didn't
Corey!
think you would tell people about that.
It's okay, Kate. I'm sure your monolith is just having a really good summer, and it will send you an awesome postcard about its water slide adventures.
It's on the monolith farm now.
The
Don't-
big monolith sanctuary.
In the sky.
No.
So the client and his formerly possessed friend are chatting, and they kind of go a bit bro-y. They're like, bro, it's cool. We're bros. Can you fist bump me, bro? He's like, yeah, bro. I'll always fist bump you, bro. It's kind of adorable.
Yeah, and I was expecting the secret handshake to be more than just a fist bump and some catchphrases, but I also wasn't expecting the line like that friend was supposed to say to be like, yeah, we'll be together in hell. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, he was like, we'll be together even if we die together, or something like that. And his friend's like, we'll party in hell. Like, what?
I
know.
I mean, okay, catchphrases definitely pass the security check. The fist bump, not so much, but I guess you can have in your two-factor authentication, you can have one that's a little weaker.
Please include uppercase fist bumps and at least one numeral.
Yeah, don't forget some digits.
No
5
underscores.
digits.
You can't have more than 5 digits unless, well, I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. You do you.
We're talking about fingers. Digits.
Kate?
They couldn't see you looking at your hand and grinning like an idiot, so I kind of had to say it for you.
So Taco sees some friendship happening that he's not part of, and rolls up. He's like, "Good. I'm glad everything is working out for you guys."
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, great, thank you. And the Eurocent shows up, and it's just like, hey, did you know that when people are possessed for more than 99 days, their bodies get taken over, and then you can't save them anymore?
What?
I mean, this might be unnecessary information because you saved that guy right away. But, 99 days.
And he's like, "Oh, you!" and goes to hit Eurocen, and buddies are just like, "What are you doing, man?"
Because your son is a goast.
And he's like, "I'm fine and not crazy."
Why is the deadline always 99 days in this show?
Why can't it be around 100?
What's so special about 99?
It's not even 3 months.
Do
That's
they not allow for triple digits in the form that says how many days would you like before thing happens? I'm assuming there's a paperwork issue where they didn't put three character.
You gotta save space in your data types. Like, 2 digits is enough for anyone.
But Corey, what happens when Ghost Y2K happens and the digits flip over to 0? Everything will go wrong.
all the computers in the world will shut down.
All the monoliths will explode.
Okay,
I think that's what happened
You need to
to this
stop
one.
talking about monoliths. You're cut off.
So we cut to Pretty Boy on a water tower or
Of
a large
course.
cylinder vessel of some kind, up in the
Overlooking.
air.
Overlooking things because he likes being high up.
Well, he's like very satisfied that there's a giant evil eye on the abandoned factory now.
Yeah, this might work into whatever he had happening at the last construction site area that had an evil eye that everyone was like, hey, we're done. We finished the case, and they missed some leftover pieces. Maybe he'll get enough of these, and they will make a large eye, and we'll get another castle in the sky.
Except it'll be the entire planet.
Dun dun dun.
The entire planet will just be sitting there floating in space.
Much unlike what is currently happening now. Don't you dare look like that. You're so darn pleased with yourself.
I'm gonna be nice and not break your fun fantasies about Earth being in space.
Excuse me?
She keeps breaking my fantasies, so I'm just gonna be nice and not break any of hers since they're real.
So we're back at Snapple headquarters.
In the science lab.
Good,
/
let's
water feature.
Get back on track. Perfect.
Akari really wants to study this monolith. That's not this one that has not exploded.
She's
Oh,
all
I'm
like,
sorry.
if only we could get into that database.
Am I not allowed to talk about the monolith still? Can I talk about it if it's relevant?
I'll allow it.
Okay, cool.
This monolith appears to be very intact and in no danger at all.
It is not cracked like the last one was.
We have
And-
to say this for our legal department. This monolith looks to be in good health.
If you were to find this monolith listed on eBay, it would say that it is of high quality and probably mildly used.
Not quite mint condition, but in original packaging.
Not like new at all.
The buy it now feature. Free shipping, though, within the continental U.S. So Taco's on the stairs. Taco's not thrilled about everything that's happening, kind of like being all contemplative again, and turns and is like, I know who Spectre is.
Spectre.
And Akari and I are like, what?
And then Taco's like, it's Makoto.
And Akari's like, what? Makoto? Why? Makoto? What?
And then Taco's like, yeah, our Makoto.
Yeah. I actually did not think he was going to finish telling her. I just thought he was going to spend a lot of time saying, I know who Spectre is.
Spectre.
And then they do a very clever cut where they zoom in over the shoulder to the eye on the monolith and then do a fade to the eye of the icon sister.
I like how you went, fade.
Fade. And it's like, whoa.
So obviously Makoto is by the river again, because this is the only place they ever show him by himself.
Well, it's this and the bridge that you can see that's in front of him also over this river.
Yes, but it's all the same
I think
place.
he really likes this river.
Maybe he lives there.
Under the bridge.
Under the bridge.
He's a troll.
He's a hot troll.
So Makoto's like, I'm gonna take all of the icons.
And his sister's not talking to him.
And he's like, sister? And then she's like, well, actually. And then it just stops.
Yeah, he says, what's wrong? A long pause. And she goes, well, actually. Episode done.
Over.
Next time on Kamen Rider Ghost. Also, these movies. They advertise Kamen Rider movies at the
And
end of
also
each
some
episode.
McDonald's stuff.
So
Also McDonald's.
So Kate, I know you're not familiar with Japanese television, but shows like these, they don't have the same advertising laws in Japan as they do in Canada. And I'm assuming you've seen some TV on a real television in Canada.
Yes.
Okay. In Japan, they will show a show like this. Every commercial break will mostly feature commercials related to the show.
That's smart.
It's not
like
allowed in Canada.
An integrated toy getting togetherness thing.
That's really smart. I also appreciate England's commercial laws, because here we'll have like 5 minutes of content and then 1 minute of commercials. In the UK, they'll have 15 minutes of content and then like 5 minutes of commercials, and then you come back and there's another 15 minutes of content.
Oh.
So you can sit down and watch your stuff and then have a 15-minute or a 5-minute break where you like go to the bathroom, like get a drink, refill your snack, whatever, and then you come back and you have another just like solid session of content.
That sounds pretty nice.
It's the best. I prefer that over what Japanese commercials sound like, and also Canadian and American.
For the brief periods of time where I saw some episodes of things with commercials in between when I was in Japan, I had a hard time telling which parts were commercials at sometimes and which parts were just part of the show.
Because at the end of this, I keep thinking, I'm like, oh, this is a next time on. Oh, no, they're just advertising McDonald's.
Or postcards or coloring books or...
That was McDonald's.
Amazing.
Thank you all for listening.
I want to clarify something real quick. I just want to clarify. Someone tweeted me the other day and said, oh, this is an anime. This is a weird anime. And I had to point out to them that no. This is no anime. If you have been listening for 8 episodes and you've been thinking this is an anime, you are wrong. This is a live-action Japanese television show, which makes all of this weirder. Just remember that.
I mean, for the few things that Kate has now seen, this is actually almost normal.
This is weird AF.
For North American audience, think Power Rangers.
On acid.
Think Acid Rangers.
In your face.
Go Acid Rangers.
I
I don't know. I've never done acid.
I don't know what acid sounds like when it's squirting. I'm thinking liquid acid.
Yeah, and then because I'm assuming it's on your face.
What was the sound that during the beginning of this episode there was a weird sound that the iguana kept making that I started? Was it? It's like
Spectre.
Good night, y'all.
Thanks so much for listening. Go follow us on Twitter at GHOSTWATCH2016 or our YouTube channel, GHOSTWATCH2016, or our Instagram, GHOSTWATCH2016.
We don't have an Instagram. No.
Go follow us on Peach.
We have a website. We have a website.
Go follow us on Peach, GHOSTWATCH2016.
We definitely don't have Peach.
If you want to join our LinkedIn network, we are
goodness.
GHOSTWATCH2016.
Is that a more efficient way of finding the hero icons?
It's professional.
You find it if someone has been endorsed for like Tutankhamun.
Find us on Tinder at GHOSTWATCH2016.
No.